Hey, good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's been a while since we've continued Great Ace Attorney, but yeah, we're finally getting around back to it. We wrapped up Case 1 the last time, so we're gonna be heading into Case 2 now. And I'm noticing, yeah, it's named after an actual Sherlock Holmes, one of the short stories. So I wonder how many references we're gonna be able to catch.
Small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible Speckled Band I had ever seen.
Yeah, that was 99% word for word the original story. So yeah, we're definitely going to be getting some references back to the old stories. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes back as a kid, so this will be fun.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
That's like another reference to another story. Like the very first one, I think.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would
Study in
imagine.
Scarlet, I think.
Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
It's me, isn't it? I'm in there, aren't I? I'll have to get a good look at the sailors again later. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait, I can't move. Ah, what the? Not again! I literally just had one case and I was the accused. Now you're telling me there's a second one? Immediately after, where I'm the accused again? That sucks, dude. Why am I in handcuffs? So, you wake up now, Oh, it's yeah, it's the Russian dude. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You. Ah, you found me then. Ah, we found you. And now you pay. Criminal! How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, hmm? Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, hmm? No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? But, Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. Wait a sec. Huh? Wait, is Kazuma the victim? We didn't see the body, but What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Oh shit, it's Mia Fey all over again. Damn. Or Godo, it could be Godo again. Mentors keep dying in this series, don't they? Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body. Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs, surely you don't think that I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please! No. No! Wait, I need to... No! Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ha 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 ha. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought you luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone would discover you. Hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. You're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? And I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at Nick's port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Da, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... murdering my best friend! No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs. They think I did it. They think I'm Kazuma's killer. And they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. You don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there are no obvious external signs of injury then. Yeah, that's a callback to the original case as well, because death by snakebite. And also it's in the time period where they couldn't really check for... if they don't know to look for that type of venom, they wouldn't be able to find it. That's true, yes. Can we present things? I'm just curious. It says keep out in Japanese. You see the remnants of the glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. But it wasn't proper glue, of course. We didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste to use instead. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you even expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Yeah, it looks like a... definitely looks like a talisman, right? Yeah, this was really sudden though. Akeruna! Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... he would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... There was Kazuma-san, collapsed on the floor. Does he know Russian though? I guess they're assuming that he knows Russian. That's why he could have written that. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Whoop. Sorry. My source cut out for a sec. Give me a sec, chat. Okay. Yeah, I guess it is kind of weird. But I don't know if... Maybe Kazuma knows Russian. I don't know. So we'll see. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you. But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Oh yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Interesting. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into the wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Should eat something funny then. Wait, Kazuma brought him the food though, so... Unless he... that would be weird though. No, actually. Maybe they both got drugged. Yeah, it's possible, because no one else knew that he was there, so... They could have both been drugged and then he was killed again. Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied? Or whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Judo troll. What the? That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime.
Yes!
This badge! Alright then, how about this? You can't trick me with something irrelevant like that. Oh. I better try to come up with something more convincing. Otherwise, I get the feeling she'll throw me on the floor all over again. The way you're looking at me, I think perhaps I didn't throw you hard enough. No, it was definitely hard enough. Let me show you something else. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a situation where I think the badge actually may have been potentially the thing to show, because I'm like, you know, we are both students and we are both friends, why would I do it? But okay, yeah. He can't have, yeah. He can't have done it because the paper would have... You kind of stuck the paper over it.
Yes!
That's the idea. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me. I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Maya fakes with no magic powers. Well, would that be Emma? I guess. It could be Emma. Unless science is a magic power. For the power of forensics. Emma. Or it could be Kay Faraday. Right? She has the she does have Poe's like hand over mouth expression, but you know, for the most part, I'm pretty sure she's her own character, not related to anyone. The surname doesn't match up. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything that I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death! Here, take a look at my badge. Susato-san, about this. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. But we don't have time to waste on anything else. We must find clues. She looks serious. Really quite deadly serious. Damn, no reaction, eh? Nothing on that either. Okay. This guy is still here. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Niet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Oh, okay. Tutorial about rotating the room, yeah. I'm sure you're careful to look around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Funny joke. Alright. What does this sign say? Everything's tipped over too. Was the ship listing? I guess the ship might have been listing. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially a list of requests for the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Wait, the sword's right there though. The sword's still there. The Yamato, it's still there. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Yeah. She's snarky. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword, the Yamato. It splits dimensions. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying, the Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. He said to them, if you want it, then you'll have to take it. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. His spirit of justice! What is that? There's steak. Oh, it's a chicken. Wait, do roast chicken bones, like when you take everything else off this, does it really look like that? What bone is that anyway? That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of, when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean? Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly. It's just too horrible. Ugh. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience. And an achy stomach. Wait. Then if... Wait. If he didn't eat, then yeah, if the chicken was drugged, then that means, yeah, he wouldn't have been drugged. Interesting. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. Yeah, the chicken is definitely drugged. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. Alright, yeah, so far we have evidence of the ship definitely listing. The ship definitely listed, and the chicken was probably drugged. But if it listed, now I'm wondering if maybe Kazuma got accidentally stabbed by something. No, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. No visible marks on the body, that's what they said. That would be a really silly way to go anyway, right? Some Looney Tunes stuff. Impaled on his own sword. Seigi. The Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship. Damn. You got me there! Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Oof. Yeah, that's a big oof. Alright. What is this weird shard on the floor? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netscape fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. The lamp, no, the shelf. The books have fallen over on the shelf, look. They've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea, although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Wait, no, don't tamper with the evidence! Susato-san! Susato-san! What was that about tampering with the evidence? Damn it, she is my fate. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's Russian. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? I'm sure the game would tell us eventually, but I wonder, like, if we knew Russian, would we be able to read that? It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than the Susato takedown. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. No reading diaries. It's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright. I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Now I wonder if it is relevant. Now, see, there's a big old ventilation pipe, and it's linked to the other room for some reason. So, you know, in the case of the Speckled band, it was murder by snake through a ventilation shaft. A fake ventilation shaft that didn't really go anywhere. Although I guess that's probably not going to be as direct as that, right? It's probably not going to be it. There's also a... wait, there's also another shaft here. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Oh wait, no, that's the ventilator. And that's the bell pull, and that's the bed. But Kazuma didn't die in the bed, he died on the floor, over there. And he was halfway through writing, so no. Yeah, I think those are just little references to the Sherlock Holmes case, probably. Although that is a really weird design thing, yeah. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Where did you come from? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And he is investigating... And is he investigating Kazuma's desk or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Yeah, I know. I'll get a suspiciously tall gentleman to my side to see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. This literally came tumbling in, though. You can't move anywhere, though, right? I'm in handcuffs and under house arrest by the crew, not to mention Susato-san's constant glares. I think it's fair to say that I'm stuck in this cabin, for the time being at least. Focus on investigating here to see what I can find out. Before that, though... Weird bell pull that doesn't lead anywhere. This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in the book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Oh, that actually is connected to a bell. In the original story, it's a fake. It just connects to nothing. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy. That's all. Okay. Funny. The bell pull works. Is the bed bolted to the floor? That's the question. Well, we can't even investigate the bed. Yeah. Okay, never mind. The bed's not interactable. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Alright. We're gonna ignore him for now. One more thing. The door. When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open. This boat had been firmly closed. It's quite a small boat and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. As she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a boat across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There will be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. If she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Alright, I don't think there's anything else to investigate, so... guess we gotta go talk to Mr. Herlock Sholmes! But give me just a sec, chat, I'm gonna get more water. This is a lot of talking, so yeah, be right back. We have returned. And now I'm beginning to wonder if this guy is going to spawn in on all crime scenes always bent over like this. Also, yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I get why we're not having a trowel in this one, because we're on a ship. There's nowhere to hold a trowel. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Wait, I gotta decide what voice I want to give him. We did hear his voice earlier. He's British. I don't know if I can do that exact voice though. We'll find out what kind of voice to give him. We heard his voice already, so it's just a matter of like getting comfortable, I guess. Maybe I should just leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry. What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Study in Scarlet. That's the thing he says to Watson. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled from your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the bare-boned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too! Oh no. He is incompetent. He's not Sherlock Holmes, he's Herlock Sholmes. And it turns out he's a gumshoe. And comes to all the wrong conclusions. Oh dearie dearie me. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name. I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... Wag! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Hmm? Well, to be honest, the ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed! An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right! Huh. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. The very same, the inimitable, actual Sherlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Sir Sato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? You must ask him what he deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? I present this. Mr. Holmes, what do you make of this? Shh, quiet. And I'm ruminating in the course of my deductions. Nothing must disturb my mind. Oh, so sorry. Ah, an Indian curry, perhaps. What's he ruminating about? The lunch menu? Alright, yeah, I don't think he's gonna say anything to whatever we show him. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Sherlock, was it? No, I have no her. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I think that's the actual magazine that the stories were published in. Or at least, like, it's a reference to it. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Or Watson, I guess. I must say, thanks to the publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. That's also another reference, I believe. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction. And fame! That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow, who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? Mr. Holmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. I can't read that, yeah. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Actually, is it? I'll do it. It is. How do we say it? I'm curious now. Give me a sec, chat. This is for additional. This is for the additional immersion.
Гардероб.
Garderobe.
Гардероб.
Garderobe.
Гардероб.
Garderobe. Like God of War, but like kinda close enough. Alright. Garderobe. Garderobe. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head, but this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian? Was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe might be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. Study in Scarlet joke. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong to not look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. I mean... kinda... I think the Japanese uniforms at the time were based off European ones, so... it's not that far-fetched. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people. I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message, then I might analyze it for possible hidden details. We haven't seen the body up to now, but I guess that confirms that that's definitely him. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, where you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that. Ah, yes! The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Damn it. Why does he keep dropping stuff on me like that? Hang on. Well, chat, we're learning a foreign language today.
Конечно.
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 Конечно. Alright, I gotta not touch the capture card too much. But hey, we're learning different languages today. Конечно, certainly, if it interests you. Wait, is it okay now? Is the audio okay? It's fine now? Okay. I won't touch it too much then. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. I just want to find out what the word sounds like, you know? Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part. Ah yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolutionary Villian Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, a young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes had concluded that he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villian Bolshevik. No, no, no. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. We went about it backwards, right? Because like, oh, he's the culprit because of the locker room, therefore it's him. Okay, okay. At least that makes some sense. He's not pulling it completely out of his ass. It's just that he went about the logic chain the wrong way. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man had perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've resolved all there is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back, cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Indeed. Perfect. Sorry. It amused me. Ballet? This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Oh no, I mean it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novavik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novavik Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports of sailing to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that of a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, we have the update. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this is. A pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reviews also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was right, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. See one of the sailors? Is he the sailor back there? He might have been one of the sailors. I wasn't paying attention, but it might be possible. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim. You see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but... I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Well, if it's Mr. Holmes, then it's fine. Right. Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, ikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. Ah. But this diary is littered of complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Ah ha 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 ha. So what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. Much obliged, my dear madam. I could read it too, you know. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 AM. I can hear a faint whistling sound. It is the band, the Speckled band. A whistling sound. These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. That's also a direct quote from the story. The second sentence reads, 1:35 AM. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say. The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Are we really doing the same solution, though? If it is the same solution, that means snake through the ventilator. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness is takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking! You just said it only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And there he goes. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. The sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Yeah. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. I can break these cuffs! Is that? Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. You! You! Why is he here? Is he also a stowaway? Why is he going to England? Isn't he a Japanese investigative officer? What is he doing here? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Tuberculosis man. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and aboard this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Please take a look at my badge. Hey! Finally. Inspector, can I show you this? What the? Is that a fabled Imperial University pin badge? I'm not sure if it's really fabled exactly, but... So, you're a genuine student then? Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say? Can I have my badge back, please? It's not wiping that up, is he? Ah, this is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe doors this morning, isn't it? That's right. I tried to stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me. Wouldn't it have been better to write it in English if you didn't know Russian? Maybe, but Ofuda paper amulets like this are a part of our culture, Inspector. And I thought if I made it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside. It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it? Have you seen this photograph yet, Inspector? Oh dear. Are you alright, Inspector? Yes, sorry. I'm fine. I was hoping to hide my upset with a bit of coughing and spluttering. I'm usually very good at it. But trying to stifle my feelings seemed to have stifled my cough this time. It's all so sad. Asogi-san was such a promising young man. The Empire had such high hopes for him. I had such high hopes for him, even though I'm just a detective. We're all going to miss you, Kazuma. Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector? I'm sorry, but I can't read Russian very well. Oh no, that's alright. I know what it says. So you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents, is that it? Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say? Sorry. Forget I mentioned it. What about this one? Same result? Yeah. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill." A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But, what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. And seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Alright. We have unlocked moving, but also we need to talk to him. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san's reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. Yeah, it's literally named just Hell. That's the place you go to in some Toho games. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And it didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably in my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Well, we did get the permission to investigate already, but I guess I'll just run through this. I can't leave the cabin at this moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Okay, I think it's the same dialogue. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same dialogue. Plus we already triggered it. Alright then. Let's go over to the next door cabin. A mousetrap. I'm finally out of the cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on a study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? It must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. No, his face isn't long enough, that's not him. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. You've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Oh yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. That's so fun. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest of the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... how many cabins are there? Mousetrap. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it is called. I think that's what it's called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. I can't tell if she's being sarcastic, but like a lot of the time it feels like she's being condescending. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it! But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Oh, excuse me, we, need to get inside this cabin here. The sailor's eyes speak volumes. You're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective. It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. I think the Russian revolutionary might be living in there. Or it might be the ballerina. This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck, look. The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan. Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Well, it's not the same, but, you know. It's the Meiji era, you know. There's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail of the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Da! I heard that, da! And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Interesting. Or it could be that he wasn't there. That's possible. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third class lady's maid. Oh. You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman, Biff Stroganoff. Bake strong. Biff Stroganoff. Ew. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Alright, he's... Oh, we can't talk to him. Beef Stroganoff. Yeah, that's true. That's the way to the second class area of the ship. There's something wrong. I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. Might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Alright, Mr. Beef Stroganoff. Mr. Stroganoff, I bought this first-class cabin area. Here we are in finest part of Burya steamship, for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi currently occupied? Da! Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. It's either the revolutionary or the ballerina, I guess. Or both. Could be both. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man who have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. Why is everyone so casually racist? That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time. I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Niet! Susato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises, or sense anything was wrong in some way. He's looking away. The log is empty. He wasn't at his post. Yes, yes, yes. I said no. Sorry. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Sus. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It's time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area, staying locked at all times. You escape when lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the peaks fly. Yes, I understand. Good. Now I can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Having a closer look at this again. The book on top of the table there is really huge. It's a pen of it too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? Yeah, we've seen this already, right? Oh, it's just slightly different because it's not there. Look here, yeah. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. I guess that means we go into the cabin. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a Speckled Bear emerging. Yeah, we've seen this. Let's go. Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you inside? You did say you were going in here, right? No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. It's Holmes, isn't it? Stand aside. Oh wait, no, he's outside. Huh. I thought it for sure it was him. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes, I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Are we about to see another murder victim? A snake, perhaps? Ah. Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. Wait, we heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. A dish of milk? Ah, more references. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me. And you are? I am the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses the magazine like a business card. The detective. I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. It's a snake, isn't it? Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes! The case just shook! Leave, now! Otherwise, I'll call the steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. The strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Why are you in there, Holmes? Yeah, everything over here is knocked over too. I wonder if, like, well, I thought that was because the ship was listing, but you know. I assumed everything just tipped over because the ship listed. Now I'm wondering if it was intentional. Like Susato said that they were potentially looking through stuff and that's why it's all knocked over. I guess that's also a possibility. Okay. I don't know if the game's gonna give us a checkpoint anytime soon or if there even are any traditional checkpoints for something like for this case, since it's a really long investigation for the most part. But this feels like a good place to stop for now, yeah? We will talk to the strange Russian gentleman in the next session, and then we will find out if that box actually does contain a snake. I assume that's the case, but we shall see. Alright, catch you guys around for another episode of Great Ace Attorney very, very soon. Peace.